never said please.
Please, motherfucker!
Why are we always yelling?
Jesus Christ! Really? What happened to the seatbelt rule?
Oh, very, very good.
Can I just say before we start,
Yep.
I reckon you can line up your mates and some shots every time.
He says motherfucker.
He says
It's a
motherfucker,
drinking
you take a
game.
shot.
Yes, it's a drinking game. Absolutely.
I reckon there's probably a website that tells you exactly how many times Samuel L. Jackson says motherfucker in this.
Yes. Or you know what? You could do all of his movies and still play that game. I think it's his favourite go-to.
No, I think this one, though, is,
Okay. Now, that one probably didn't tell you a great deal about the story, but it certainly told you
I think in the first bit it
the
said
tone.
You're a hitman and I'm a professional bodyguard and I have to protect you.
That's all you really need to know. And then the rest of it's just pure fun.
I mean, what I've got written here is completely different.
Now, I'll start off because it's my movie.
If you do start off, can you start off with the very first bit? I know you're looking at me funny. What I meant was like Gary Oldman's character.
Was Gary Oldman in this? Where was he? Where did he slip in?
He was the president of Belarus.
Oh, was that Gary? Oh, of
my
course,
gosh.
yes. Sorry. Oh, you know what he's like. He
Puts on a costume and goes,
one minute he's a war criminal, the next he's Churchill. You can't pick the man. Come on, be fair. I have a bad enough time with people like Marilyn Monroe. I can't pick him.
he just puts the costume on and he is the president of Belarus.
So was. Of course it was him. Because he looked vaguely familiar, but I just assumed they'd got some dictator from the East and stuck him in there.
No, it was Gary Oldman.
He's an actor, isn't he? He's very good.
He is an actor. It
Yes.
says so. I got on his passport.
That's right. So, yes, Gary Oldman was in this. I don't go looking to see who's in it that much. You
could see it was him.
I wasn't interested in that. All I wanted was a fun little film to entertain me, and I knew you'd enjoy it.
You told me. Now, remember, everyone at home, that Paul was saying, listen to Robert Evans' Behind the Bastards Syria podcast. I listened to that, parts 1 and 2.
And it broke
before,
you. It did.
Let me finish. Before I watched The Hitman's Bodyguard. So, therefore, the first part of the film, I'm actually going, oh, whoa, yes, this makes so much more resonance and, emotional and everything.
Yes.
And
You overanalyzed this movie.
I did at the very start, and then
Yes.
Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds came in and just went, la, 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 la. So I went on the whole, oh my gosh, this is really important.
This is gonna-
it's
yep.
going to be one of those films. And then they rock up and they
Yes.
start being themselves and having far too much fun. And I just went, oh no, it's not. Okay,
All
sorry.
right. Yep. As you were.
So that's what I was saying. I thought you could explain the first part.
No,
there,
well,
but-
you did a very good job. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Look, I just put this on because I thought we needed a fun film. And as I said last week, after talking about Samuel L. Jackson, I think this film is simply a vehicle for him and Ryan Reynolds just to have fun. They probably looked at the script and said, oh, we're doing this, motherfucker.
Well, he just went, we're just going to film you guys talking in the car for a while.
Yeah, just keep driving.
And go.
So, look, hilarious. This is a very, very funny film, irrespective of whether you're British, Australian or American or anybody else. It's just funny.
It's directed by an Aussie.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
Patrick Hughes.
There you go. Well done him, because I thought it was a very funny film. Look, they're just having fun, and they're just let off their leash, and
Pretty
oh my
much.
God, the two of them are probably the funniest guys in Hollywood.
But
They're probably the funniest men in America. I would argue that. I would.
I don't know. All I know is that I think the two of them were having far too much fun.
Do you know the character that Samuel L. Jackson was playing? This is my own little personal...
Is it based on true characters?
No. I suspect that the director just pulled him aside and said, okay, Samuel, I just want you to picture this. Think Pulp Fiction. I want you to think of Jules, but he's 40 years older, or 30 years older, and he's gone through life. He's lightened. He's got a bit more of, he's a little bit more laid back, and he's learnt a few life lessons, and go.
Oh, no, I reckon there's far more comedy in this than the Jules character.
Oh, absolutely. No, Jules was super serious.
No, this he just went, you have fun, go for it. Even when Samuel L. Jackson was on the phone to, I should use his name, Darius was on the phone to, what's her name? Sonia. It was played by Salma Hayek. And they're talking on the
she
phone.
was having fun too. What about the fat girl who kept getting in the corner? No. And when she did that little fart at the
I was more like, she's still in the corner after all that's happened. She goes, all right, you can have 5 minutes. And she's like, she rushes off, probably to go to the bathroom or something.
But I love that little nervous fart she did. That was just fantastic. Didn't you hear the...
I heard, but it wasn't that funny.
Well, see, there you go. There's the difference in our humour right there. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was one of the funniest things in the whole show.
I thought her getting excited that she could have 5 minutes away from the corner.
Because it was a real fart, I think. You could see a butt clench.
That's great, Paul.
You know what? I'm going to cut that.
But it's funny because I came into this with the first scene with Gary Oldman, and he's in... He's being tried for crimes against humanity.
He's the only one playing a serious role in the whole show.
That's what I mean, but they start off with this, and I'm thinking...
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
He's hardcore.
No. Well, after listening to Robert Evans talk about what's happening in Syria, I just went, oh, my gosh, it's going to be one of those films. Is this why Paul told me to listen to that? And then it just went into...
No, I didn't do it for that. It was serendipitous in the connection. Like, it just came up at the same time. I wasn't even thinking about... And when you said, oh, my God, and I couldn't help myself. I said, that's right. I put the two together. What do you think of that?
But otherwise, so it starts off so serious. Yep. I mean, except for the part where Ryan Reynolds is being was it Japanese guy on the plane? And his head just explodes in the window.
It's just, look, guys, ladies and gentlemen.
It was so funny.
This is just in
a wrong way.
Fun, dark little film. It's really, really good fun. And
it's got a good, it makes sense, as in the comedy all makes sense.
I'm glad. Does the director give you enough information, Pip?
Yes, Paul.
Everything
was
for that.
Great. I loved it all. I love Ryan Reynolds having shots while all hell's breaking loose behind him. I hope he gets shot. I hope he dies.
All 25 of us are now just breathing a sigh of relief here.
But no, it was a really good film. They're bringing out another one. So I don't know when that's coming out, but I will watch it. It
can't be far off because they've already got the trailers up.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched the trailer.
I should have got the trailers. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? At the end of this podcast, I'll put it on just so you can listen to it. I mean, go off and obviously watch it, but I'll just tack it on at the end because, trust me, Pip, we've got time to spare because that first movie, rubbish. And so consequently, it took us like 5 minutes to talk about it.
I'm sorry. Isn't it funny? If a film's rubbish, it's hard to talk about.
Yep.
And if it's a film's funny, like this one,
yes,
you just say, it was funny, it was great. They just sat there having lots of fun.
Oh, look. Okay, for a moment serious, let's talk about this film and what it did right. Can we do that?
Go for it.
Okay. First of all, you had two superb actors in the two main protagonists.
I don't think anyone did a bad job acting.
Nobody did a bad job.
No.
This was just a superb film. And it's tight and it's light and at the same time it's dark. And that's why I love it. It's just, it appeals to everybody.
But it makes people happy in, there's the bad guy who was actually... could possibly get away, and it's only because of this man who's got proof to, stuff him up. But then they've got the motorbike chase.
But there is a hole in this film. There is a plot hole in this film.
That would make people happy. What's that?
Well, obviously he gets there just in the nick of time and all the rest of it. And,
well, that's how films work.
I know. And there's no spoilers with this because, quite simply, it's not important. It's not an Agatha Christie or anything.
It's not a D&M film.
No, it's not. But the thing is, he was never given, you think about it, he was only, when he signed that, he wasn't getting out of prison.
No.
She was going to get out of prison.
Yeah.
And yet, why is he there at the very end?
There was on the newspaper article, it says such and such has broken out.
Oh, there you go.
There was, at the end of it, there was his picture, wanted, has broken out of prison or whatever it said.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So that's why he was out. He's broken out.
That's fine. Yep. Oh, I missed that. The small details.
It wasn't that small. It took up like a third of the screen.
For how long?
I don't know, 5 or 6 seconds.
Well, it needed 5 or 6 minutes to make my attention.
It should have said, Paul, look at me, Paul.
I miss things like that sometimes. Sometimes I don't. It's a hit and miss.
Okay, well, I thought it was fairly clear.
You
And I
think
like
that?
the ending.
I know. Yeah, it's all good. And you know what? It's not important because it doesn't matter and everybody lives happily ever after.
Well, it's supposed to be. It's that sort of film.
Yes.
Like I said, it's not that deep.
Yes.
It
So-
starts off with me going,
Although-
it's going to be deep. No, it's not.
No. Oh, yeah. Wait. No.
There's only one thing that bothered me, and that was, I know the whole thing with Ryan Reynolds and his seatbelt.
Yes.
It was purely so that he could be thrown out of the window. But if he's always
But then
putting
they
his
built it up and they didn't make a big thing out of it.
if he's always putting his seatbelt on, surely that shouldn't have been him. It probably should have been Samuel L. Jackson instead. And B, if you get thrown out of a car through a windscreen,
It's called comedy, right? And the whole point it's funny is because it's a reverse on a trope.
I know I get that. But
Because
if
he was
someone-
so agitated by Samuel L. Jackson's character.
that he hadn't done his seatbelt up.
Exactly.
Yes, I know.
And that's why
I don't
it's
know.
funny.
Just to me, it didn't quite.
It's not funny when I have to explain the joke, Pip.
But also, getting thrown through a windshield.
Yes. Will kill you, yes. But this is the movies, Pip. Also, leaping from the top of a 10-story building onto scaffolding will kill you.
Well, no, he hit enough on the way down that it didn't.
Each of those things would have killed him.
It would not have killed him. There was enough.
He should have had a broken rib.
Well, he might have had a broken rib. You don't know. He was limping.
He's a La Cucaracha. Wasn't Selma Hayek? Is that her name?
Yes.
Yes. Wasn't she superb?
Sonia.
I loved her.
Oh, she was having fun with that too. You could just see her. Ooh, you motherfucker! Rah, 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 you
She
he's
is
a
one of the most-
cucaracha. He can't die even if you try and push him under your boot.
I think she is one of the most underrated actresses in. Well, you think about it, she's constantly pulled into to do, like, she's done quite a few in. She was in Dust to Dawn. That's when she first started. That was the first movie in Dust to Dawn for what's his flop? You know, the director we were talking about last week, the one that I really, really love.
Tarantino.
Thank you.
I don't know where you're going with that.
Just
I
trying.
think, why don't you just? What are you talking about?
Ladies and gentlemen, you should be used to this by now.
She was in Dogma as well.
That's right, yes. And
Yeah.
she's just
She's
brilliant
been
in
heaps of
everything
other-
she does.
Everything she does, she's good at.
She's really good at.
She's a real charismatic sort of
She's
person.
a charismatic person, and you can't keep people like that down.
No.
And Samuel L. Jackson is the epitome of charisma.
He's just in everything.
Oh, look, it doesn't matter. I've seen him. You know, one of my favourite films. You know what? Can I put that up as my next film for next week?
So not the one I've got written
Quick,
down.
no, bugger Quigley. You'll have to
Quigley,
just
we put it-
poor old Quigley. Go back in the box, Quigley. You know, you'll have to wait another week. Sorry.
So you just keep saying no. Actually, no, I won't.
I'm going to put up a little film called The Red Violin.
You've been wanting to put that one up for a while. Is that
I
Samuel L.
have.
Jackson as well?
He's got Samuel L. Jackson in
Oh
it.
my
It's a
gosh.
Canadian film, so, you know, we'll all get bored.
Red Violin.
Yes.
Got
And I like it because I'm a cello player, and this was, you know, the story of a 500-year-old violin.
You've been telling me to watch it for ages, and I haven't.
Now you'll get to watch it.
Okay.
Okay. So, sorry, but, like, his character, they've given him this character, and, like, the character itself is quite boring. It's not an exciting character.
Are we talking
but
about
he's
the Red
Samuel
Violin?
L. Jackson's character in this film.
Red Violin.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Well, you shouldn't be talking
no,
about
no,
now.
I'm just going to say
I haven't seen it.
He still grabs it with that quintessential Samuel L. Jackson. You'll see what I mean. Like, if you just listen to the lines and you think there's nothing there, you know what I mean? They give him nothing, and then he's still able to make something out of it. That's how good he is.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll leave it at that.
All right.
Yep.
Well, that's okay. So, Paul, the Hitman's bodyguard, how many stars would you give it?
Oh, look. You know, for comedies, you just about have to just do it purely based on entertainment. Because at the end of the day, a comedy is a comedy, and it comes down to whether it makes you laugh. It really does, doesn't it?
No, there are comedies out there that make you laugh but don't make sense, and then there's comedies that make you laugh and tell you a
But
story
you know
and
what?
entertain you.
Let's not talk about
and-
Monty Python right now. Look, there's a classic example. Monty Python don't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It's silly, you know, and it exists on silly. And yet there are people out there who love it
Paul, did this movie make you laugh?
hysterically.
Paul.
It always manages to make me laugh. And you know what? I have a good time through it. It's just a great journey.
Paul, did this movie entertain you?
This movie thoroughly entertained me.
Paul, did this tell you a story?
Now,